Hello guys and welcome to the After the Bell pay-per-view review. I will be starting this for every pay-per-view starting from this one, which is Extreme Rules 2017. I'm just going to get right into it. First we start the pay-per-view card off with The Miz versus Dean Ambrose. This match, I liked this match. A lot of people did not take to this match. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought the build-up for it was kind of just due to Dean Ambrose could have done a lot more, in my opinion. He could have let loose a little more and not been as uptight, I guess, is the word. He could have just done more, in my opinion, to make the build-up a little better. The Miz was kind of carrying this. So, throughout the match, it was good. There was good spots in here. Some dives, of course, by Dean Ambrose. He does it every damn week. But the one thing I didn't like, and I saw a lot of people touched on this, was that, and it made me clue in, that they focused too much on him not getting on the disqualification rule. Dean Ambrose will still lose the title if he gets disqualified. They did this too much when they just, everything he did that almost got him disqualified. It's like almost like the kid that wants to touch the stove, but he doesn't want to. Like when the parent tells you do not touch it, and the kid tries to keep. It was like that. Like they just kept having him almost get disqualified, and then whoa, like I almost got disqualified. So that I didn't really like. But the things that I did like, The Miz tried to do the Eddie Guerrero trick, which was at the last minute, he tried to throw the chair into Dean Ambrose's hands, and he fell on the ground like he was hurt. I thought it was going to work. It got a good reaction out of me. I freaked out, and I liked it. It was a good spot. They used Maurice a lot as well, which finally, in my opinion, I think she should be used a lot more. She is his valet manager, so she should be helping him cheat a lot more in his matches. A lot of times, she just sits and does nothing, or she will do like one hit here and there, but no real cheap tactics to help him win, which I really think this pay-per-view they touched on really well. The Miz did everything to win this match. So the stipulation for this, for people who don't know, or who are just coming in now, is that Dean Ambrose would still lose his belt if he got disqualified, because weeks ago on Raw, they had a title match, Dean got disqualified, and he kept the belt. Now, Miz did everything he could. He asked Maurice to slap him to make it look like she was on Dean Ambrose's side to stop The Miz. That didn't work. Maurice ended up getting ejected from ringside. He pushed Dean into the referee to get Dean Ambrose disqualified, and that almost worked. Dean was distracted by the ref almost stopping the match. The ref was holding his neck saying, "Oh, I gotta stop the match. He was thinking about doing it, and he didn't." Dean was distracted. Miz took full advantage, hit the skull-crushing finale, and pinned Dean for the Intercontinental Championship. This was probably the best booking, in my opinion. I wanted this to go back to Miz so much. I really wanted The Miz to hold the belt again. I really hope that maybe Dean opens up more now that he doesn't have the belt on him, and maybe they let him have more creative control over his character. So overall, that match was really good. Then we get to the mixed tag match, Alicia Fox and Dyer versus Sasha Banks and Rich Swan. This was another really good match in a row, at least in my opinion. I really liked this match because I like the variety with the mixed tag. I think they should do a lot more of mixed tag matches. Maybe not a lot more, but they should be doing at least one per show per week. So like maybe Raw does it this week, then SmackDown doesn't do it this week, but then SmackDown does it next week. And then maybe do one on NXT as well. But I really like the mixed tag matches. Like I said, it just adds variety. Instead of just seeing females versus females all the time, and males versus males all the time. Like, obviously the females can only face females, and males can only face males, but there's still even male and female spots in the match. So, there was good wrestling throughout this match. And during the match, though, there was a spot where Sasha was in the corner, and it looked like Alicia actually got hurt. Now, Alicia went to do a kick, and it looked like she actually hyperextended her leg. And I honestly think this was perhaps real, due to the fact that, like, she tried to stand right up to go out, and she just couldn't stand up. Now, it's either me being a huge mark, or Alicia being a really, really good actress, or a combination of both, because I've had injuries similar to that in doing a martial art, so I kind of see how that could hurt, and I kind of know the feeling to that a little bit. So it did look like she hyperextended the hell out of her knee, and it looked really painful. And so then Sasha and Alicia were on the outside. Noam Dar tried to intervene. He got in the way of Alicia from Sasha doing a dive onto Alicia outside of the ring. And we know this tactic from Maurice doing this, getting in the way of The Miz, so no one can do a dive on him. But instead, Sasha just said screw it and dived on to Noam Dar with the double knees. And it was an awesome spot. I was happy that they did this. It looked really good. Sasha looked really good pulling it off. Rich Swan picks him up, throws him back in, gives him the Phoenix Splash to win the match. And then they do their dancing segment after, which was pretty good. This was in Rich Swan's hometown, I believe, so he got a really good response from the crowd. And these cruiserweights, they're pulling their weight. I'm starting to get impressed with these guys. It was a really good match, and I do not appreciate the downplay this match is getting. So again, another really good match, at least in my opinion. Then we get to the Elias Sampson segment. This segment, now I'm not going to be all over his nuts or anything. I'm not going to be like that, but I do like this just because he's an interesting heel. He's not just a tradition, like, he is the traditional heel, trashing the hometowns and stuff like that. But I like how they're slowly bringing him along, and he had one match so far. No, he had two matches, sorry. He had the match with Dean Ambrose, and then he had the squash match. But he's really good. He's very, very solid in the ring, and he's good on the microphone due to, like, when he's singing and just like what he says and stuff. So I'm really excited what they're going to do with him in the following weeks. So that segment was also really good. Oh, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to get back to this, because I'm so angry at this. So we had the women's championship match, the kendo stick on a pole match, which was Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. This match was just god awful, and I'm going to get back to it because I actually have some things to get off my chest about this, so I'm just going to get into the rest of the pay-per-view, and then I'm going to come back. So after that, we had the tag team cage match, which was amazing, just due to the performance by both teams. So we had Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This match had a lot of back and forth to it, but the back and forth was very, very, very well done. Sheamus and Cesaro controlled the Hardys right away. The Hardys got control, and then... the Hardys got control, Hardys and Cesaro. Sheamus kept stopping each other. Or Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus kept stopping each other from escaping the cage. Jeff escapes, and Matt is stuck, preventing the other team. And then he just keeps getting double teamed. Now, during this, Matt is just getting demolished. He takes a white noise. He takes so much things from the top ropes. He's getting just battered. Jeff tries to get back in through the door, and Sheamus just gives him a bro kick, and Jeff looks like he's out. And then Matt's just back to getting just smashed and just beaten. And so Jeff takes it upon himself to get to the top of the cage, and he re-enters by doing a whisper in the wind. And this looked awesome. It had a great reception from the crowd. The crowd loved it. it was just like the vintage Jeff Hardy that we all know. But then when he landed, Jeff was too weak to escape. So Matt is trying to drag him to the door to escape while Cesaro and Sheamus are escaping from the top. So Matt and Jeff are on one end and Cesaro and Sheamus are on the other, and they're just trying to escape before the other team. And Matt's out at this point, and Jeff he's pulling Jeff by his arms, and Jeff gets his arms out, but then Cesaro and Sheamus hit the floor right when Jeff Hardy's first foot hits the floor. So they just got out just in time, and it looked great. The picture finish, I honestly thought, like, something I said that, oh, Cesaro and Sheamus won, but then I said, wait a minute, did the Hardys win? And then it said that Cesaro and Sheamus won. It was really well done. I think this was the right move just to set up the broken Hardys. But I kind of hope they don't bring it in early, because it's like, really, one loss makes you guys broken and all this stuff. So really good booking on that. I'm glad that we hopefully possibly get to see the broken gimmick sooner than never. That brings us to the Cruiserweight match. This match, I don't really watch the Cruiserweights too much, but now this gives me an excuse. This match, I watched the whole thing. It impressed the hell out of me. There was plenty of good spots in this match. The barricade throw by Aries to Neville was crazy. It looked really good. And then, of course, the knee of Austin Aries. Neville, of course, was working that to his advantage. Aries almost had Neville plenty of times. Plenty of times. Aries got the last chancery, but on the outside of the ring. So Austin Aries has the submission in the ring. Neville rolls out of the ring, and then Austin Aries rolls Neville out of the ring, and he says, screw it, gets Neville outside of the ring, does the last chancery on him, and then Neville taps outside of the ring, so it doesn't count. So then Aries hits the discus 5-arm, goes for a dive out of the ring, misses it. Neville picks him up, puts him in the ring, hits the Dragon Screw, and hits him in the back, and then hits the Rings of Saturn and taps out Austin Aries. This I liked too, because this sets up Neville and TJP potentially. I hope that TJP gives him a good match. I hope they have a couple good matches together. But all in all, this Cruiserweight Championship match was very, very good to have on a pay-per-view. And it was better than the Women's Championship match. So now we get to the main event, which I did not expect ever. I did not expect this ending. So we had a fatal 5-way between Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Bray Wyatt. This match was the best of the night, obviously. The main event sometimes isn't, but this main event was very, very good. It made the other two pay-per-views look like shit, in my opinion. And the two, counting the Raw and SmackDown, not the two Raws, just the consecutive ones in a row, this is probably the best pay-per-view, or the best main event out of the other ones. So we began the match with Joe and Seth going right at each other. Then we had Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor going at each other, and Roman Reigns is just standing there, just by himself, just looking in the middle, and fans start booing him. So then, later on, the match goes on, basically, with the two teams of rivals going at each other, and Roman Reigns is just basically picking his spots. Later on in the match, Reigns goes for a drive-by, gets intercepted by Joe. Then Joe and Bray team up and decide to beat up the other people. So Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt are basically just going around beating up everybody. They're beating up Seth Rollins, they're beating up Finn Balor, they're beating up Roman Reigns. And they hit Roman with the steel steps. Gets a standing ovation from the crowd. They hit him and they get a standing ovation from the crowd. They're still pushing Roman Reigns, and the fans are just not having it. He's getting beat. He got beat up by Braun Strowman. Fans cheered. He's getting beat up by Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt. They're getting cheered. So then, after that, they continue to remain a team, and they're just going to town on everybody. And they're just debating on when they're going to turn on each other, but then then Bray Wyatt's just, oh, whoa, whoa, man, I was joking. I didn't mean to team on. No. I would never do that. So then Joe's just kind of taking his time. Whenever he does a move, he's just looking at Bray Wyatt and just keeping a very, very, very close eye on him. So then they're just dismantling Finn Balor at this point. And then after that, comes back to be interrupted by, of course, Roman Reigns, who then takes control, but then is halted by Bray Wyatt for a brief moment. Bray Wyatt slams Reigns on the announce table after there's a spot. There's then a spot where Finn Balor goes to clear off the table to put Bray Wyatt through. Then, of course, Samoa Joe intervenes, grabs Finn Balor, gets him in the coquina clutch. Then Roman Reigns spears them both through the table, or through the barricade. That was a good spot. Roman Reigns looked good. As much as I didn't want to say that, Roman Reigns did look good. He speared Samoa Joe and Finn Balor clean through that barricade. People were on their feet. Then right after, Seth Rollins is looking in the ring, and he looks at Bray Wyatt, who's on the table. So then Seth Rollins, the only way Seth Rollins knows how to, gets on the turnbuckle, does a frog splash onto the announce table, and breaks it, and the fans are losing their shit at this point, and the spear through the barricade got a holy shit, and then the frog splash got a holy shit, so there was 2 consecutive holy shit moments, and it was awesome. It was very, 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 very good. I liked that. And then we get to the end of the match. So we have Roman Reigns and Finn Balor in the middle of the ring, and they're just going at it. Roman Reigns, of course, is looking strong over Finn Balor. Doesn't look like there's anything Finn can do at this point. Finn is just... He was just giving all he could, but then Roman Reigns, of course, was coming back. But then Finn gets a second wind and starts giving it his all. He just keeps trying. He's going. He's giving Roman Reigns all he can give him. Hits him with the drop kick into the turnbuckle. Gives him the coup de grace, only to get intercepted by Samoa Joe when he's getting the pin. 1, 2, coquina clutch, and Finn Balor falls asleep. And Samoa Joe is your number 1 contender. This match ending I did not see coming. I said to myself, it would be very surprising if they gave it to Samoa Joe. But it wouldn't surprise me if Seth Rollins got it. It would kind of make me mad that Roman Reigns got it, but it wouldn't surprise me either. I'd just be like, of course, Roman Reigns is going to get it. Finn Balor, I wanted him to get it, and everybody else wanted him to get it. And then Bray Wyatt, people want him to get it, but not as much as Finn Balor. So there was 2 people that people really wanted to have this match with Brock Lesnar. And then there was a guy that people did not want, which was Roman. And then there was 2 people who were just like, that's interesting. I mean, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar would have been really, really good. But Samoa Joe winning, it surprised me. And I'm glad that they're taking this risk with this, because they could have just given us what we want and gave us the Finn Balor match. Okay. They could have gave us Seth Rollins, which we would have liked. Okay. But I'm glad that they're taking a new direction. They're kind of like, we'll see what we can do with this whole thing. Maybe we can maybe Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar is the best choice. So we can only kind of really see what happens with that at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view that is coming up. So that was an awesome, awesome way to cap off the pay-per-view. Now let's rewind to the Women's Championship match. Okay. So, I have a real problem with this booking of Bayley. It makes me so mad because, first off, this is how the match went. The match opens up, and Alexa's being cocky. She says, hey, Bayley, there's the kendo stick. Go grab it. As soon as she does it, she gets jumped by Alexa Bliss. And I honestly can't really remember the match, because it wasn't even a match. It was over so quick, but it was like deja vu too. It was like, once the match, oh my god. And then I just remember there was a moment where Bayley got the kendo stick. And everyone said, okay, this is Bayley's chance. And I said, this is it. Alexa's finally going to lose. This is what we want. This is what needs to happen. because Bayley's been getting squashed for weeks and weeks and looked like the biggest loser chump on the planet. I mean, she came out and got booed. I couldn't believe that. Bayley was a huge face. Everyone loved her at first, and then people started to not like her because she kind of kissed the universe's ass a little too much. Like, it's kind of sickening when superstars kiss the universe's ass and the fans' ass way too much. Like, they're thanking them every week, and they're always doing this, and we're the reason that they're doing this, and I know, we get it. But so it's a mix. It's kind of a mix between the fans for liking Bayley and hating Bayley. I think a little more people don't like her at this point because a lot of people just like Alexa Bliss more, and because Bayley's getting booked like a loser. So then Alexa's getting a mix between boos and cheers as well, but a little more cheers than boos, and then Bayley got a little more boos than cheers. At least that's how the mic sounded. So then, after Bayley gets the kendo stick, okay, she chases Alexa around the ring, and then Alexa gets cornered into the turnbuckle. And Bayley is taking way too much time. It's like she's looking at the stick, she's saying, okay, like, this is my chance, and people are cheering, she's getting a good response. So she's taking way too long. She should have just picked it up, looked at Alexa, picked up the stick, and hit her with it. No, she takes way too much time to allow build up, and then Alexa gives the most sorry-ass spear I've ever seen, almost as bad as Vicky Guerrero's spear, to knock Bayley down. Bayley puts the stick way behind her head telegraphing it way too much, gets the sorry-ass spear, tackle, whatever you want to call it. Alexa gets the kendo stick, and what happens? The same thing that happened on Raw. After the This Is Your Life segment, the exact same thing happened. She hits Bayley with the kendo stick over the back, but this is where it took a little interesting turn. She hits Bayley with the kendo stick. She keeps hitting her with it, but then Bayley's getting up. Bayley's recovering, and I said, well, I was a little mad that they did the same thing, Bayley getting squashed completely for absolutely no damn reason, or out of nowhere, sorry, and then Bayley was getting up, and I said, Bayley's because when Charlotte was hitting her, she would sort of hulk up and get her energy, and then came back and was hitting Charlotte, so I said, well, maybe Bayley's gonna do that and come back, gives her the Bayley to belly, and then Alexa still has the kendo stick in her hand. So then I said, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Is Bayley going to get it again? Alexa literally does the same shit. Like I just said, she does the same thing again. She just hits her with the kendo stick. Bayley gets up, gives her she gives Bayley the DDT, and then pins her 1, 2, 3. That was the match. My explanation of the match was longer than the match itself. I could not believe that this was a pay-per-view match. It just, it made me so mad, and I'm still mad talking about this now. It's the baby faces are getting treated so damn terribly, and it pisses me off, because Becky Lynch got a sorry title reign. It was almost laughable. Then Naomi got it taken from her briefly, and then won it back, which, good booking on that. Sasha Banks flip-flopped with it, with Charlotte, and then Bayley beats Charlotte for the title on Raw. Beats Charlotte for the title, and then just drops it to Bliss as soon as she comes over. But then people are complaining that Charlotte was getting a shot too soon and all of this, but Charlotte is way more talented than Alexa Bliss could ever be, and still isn't the champion. So SmackDown clearly has the better booking, and this is another thing I heard too, that both companies are so heel heavy on their champions right now. Or both shows are so heavy on their heel champions. The Usos are for SmackDown. The Usos, who are heels now, are the tag champs. Kevin Owens is the U.S. champion. He's a heel. And then we have Jinder Mahal, who's the champion, who's a heel. And then we have one face champion Out of all the champions right now, there's one. And Naomi's the face champion. Then you have Raw, the heel champion, Alexa Bliss, women's champion. The Universal champion, Brock Lesnar, who's a heel until he faces Roman Reigns, and he's a face. Then we have Cesaro and Sheamus, who are now the Raw Tag Team Champions, who are heel. Then we have the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, who's also a heel. So out of all those belts, there's one face champion. So, I don't know. I don't like, there's so much, Bayley had so much potential to have a good run and have a lot of good feuds. I mean, her and Nia Jax would have been a better feud with the whole bullying thing. It would have been cliche, the bigger person bullying the little person, I get it, but I think Bayley could carry Nia Jax in a decent match, and especially for a championship match, because they could build it up, allow Nia to get better in the ring as well, and then when the time is right, have them have a match. Until then, have Nia do the same thing to Bayley, what Alexa's doing to Bayley right now, because we all know Alexa cannot wrestle. She can't. I don't care what people say. She cannot wrestle. People just look at Alexa and say, oh my gosh, she's automatically awesome because she looks good and she has a great body, this and that, but she's terrible. Charlotte Flair is the best women's wrestler they have right now, at least in my opinion, but I am, to Charlotte, I feel about Charlotte how people feel about how a lot of the people feel about Alexa, because except Charlotte can actually wrestle, and Charlotte can carry almost anybody in a match. So, I don't know. I think it would have been, even Sasha it would have been better with Sasha even. Like, I don't see this big, I get that she looks good, I get that she fits what they're trying to make her as, but Alexa I don't like her. I hope that they take the belt off her soon. I hope the build-up between her, Nia Jax beating her isn't too long, because Alexa's just not good champion. She's not good in the ring. She's not ready for all of this yet. She, like I've said countless amount of times, Alicia should be in her spot right now. Alicia Fox isn't much more, but Alicia's better in the ring than Alexa Bliss right now, and Alicia is probably as good on the mic, at least if not good when it comes to being a heel. She could at least be entertaining, almost like a watered down Enzo in a way, not as energetic, but it seems to me like she could say things to the top of her head really quick on the mic and just be able to be quick on the fly like that. So I think Alicia should be in her spot, and she should be booked a lot better. Sasha Banks should be booked a lot better. Mickie James is... Dana Brooke finally came back last night on Monday Night Raw. She's been gone, so I mean, they could have done it a lot better with anybody except Alexa. She needs to not be champ anymore. That's that. So I just had to get that all off my chest, because that women's championship match was just, it was so terrible. It was so terrible. And I really hope that I don't see a match as bad as that one. I think the only match as bad as that one was that Jackie Gata match, which almost everybody knows at this point. So, that's it. That was my review and opinion of WWE Extreme Rules 2017. If I had to rate this pay-per-view out of 5, due to the terrible Women's Championship match, I would probably give this a 4 out of 5. And it was strictly because of the women's match. I mean, all the other matches were good, at least in my opinion. To me, I liked them. I highly enjoyed those matches. The booking on all these matches was very good. It was very solid. Samoa Joe, good booking on that. That makes for an interesting match. Miz finally winning the belt, terrific booking. He'll be a better champion in my eyes. The mixed tag match, very, very underlooked. Very overlooked. Sorry. It was very, very overlooked. A lot of people just didn't take for it, and that wasn't the case. That was better than the Women's Championship match. and the women are better wrestlers. And the Elias Sampson segment, also really good. Cruiserweight match, really good. So all the matches were either very good, and then just terrible. So 4 out of 5 for Extreme Rules 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed my review / rant on one of the worst women's champions in WWE, at least in my opinion. This has been the After the Bell pay-per-view review. I either like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you liked it, because you guys already know we like to keep it all the way G. See you guys later.